Hey guys, welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. Today we're talking the top 10 movies based on video games. Sometimes movies based off video games are really bad. Assassin's Creed. Pixels. Yep. So for this list, we're going to try to focus on films that were actually pretty decent. Yes, some of the numbers on this list may be a stretch from that. But there are some nostalgia-filled entries on this list that are more so memorable for being a vague piece of your childhood and or gaming history that didn't quite live up to the original masterpiece it was shadowing. So let's jump in. And at number 10 is Super Mario Bros. Let's start off this list with addressing that nostalgia I just mentioned. A campy classic in the form of Super Mario Bros. It's got all the cheesy things that a video game movie adaptation requires, like real-life sort of explanations as to why the characters you love are now roaming around in the three-dimensional reality we call home. Yoshi is an actual dinosaur, and Mario and Luigi straight up go on an adventure in the sewers. And then there's Bowser. Holy hell, Bowser. Up next, number 9 is Need for Speed. Based off the Need for Speed series by EA Games, not to be confused with the 2003 one that was based off of a comic, stars Aaron Paul and Dominic Cooper. Aaron Paul is a street racer named Toby Marshall who embarks on a cross-country race to avenge his friend's death. As is the trend you'll soon spot with many of the films on this list, Need for Speed wasn't really critically acclaimed, with one critic even going as far to call it a glorified commercial for the 2015 Ford Mustang. Ouch. Up next, number 8 is Tron Legacy. While some people think this film wasn't all too great, you can't deny it didn't have some pretty impressive special effects. And that soundtrack. Come on. So good. And we're talking the 2010 Tron here, which is actually a sequel to the 1982 Tron. So if you're wondering why Tron is on this list, it's because it actually is heavily inspired by Pong, the early arcade video game. And after the 1982 film came out, a whole franchise was spawned, also leading to games that would have quite the influence on the style of the 2010 film years later. Also worth noting, you can put Olivia Wilde in anything and immediately make it better because of it. Just saying. And at number 7 is Hitman. Based off the Rockstar game of the same name, this 2007 film stars Timothy Olyphant as Agent 47, and despite not being a critical masterpiece, it was actually a financial success, earning $99 million against its $24 million budget. Not too shabby. Roger Ebert gave the film 3 out of 4 stars, commenting, I quote, "Hitman stands right on the threshold between video games and art. On the wrong side of the threshold, but still, give it credit." And at number 6 is Mortal Kombat. This 1995 loosely based adaptation is one of the films on this list that did pretty well for itself, box office wise. Earning an estimated $122 million worldwide, it was number 1 at the box office. For a while actually. And to date is the 5th highest grossing video game adaptation released in the US as of September 2016. Critics commented on how it was notably free of blood and gore, and that the film, despite having a vague narrative, was so action-packed that it almost perfectly suited the game. And if you do pay attention to its attempt at a plot, well, you can kinda see why it's a cult classic these days. And at number 5 is Warcraft. One of the more recent films on our list, this film was actually announced back in 2006, but didn't get into production until much later, with its release date being June 10th of 2016. In terms of its narrative, it follows the first encounters of humans and orcs. And while some really enjoyed the film, many felt it fell victim to its heavy use of CGI. Others felt that the CGI orcs were the best part of the movie, with the opinion that they actually had depth compared to their human counterparts. Which I can kinda see. Up next, number 4 is Doom. So the original Doom game didn't really have a plot, or at least a complex narrative rather. So one can see how this 2005 film would be more inclined to base itself off of Doom 3 rather than its 1993 predecessor. Starring Carl Urban and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Doom was a box office bomb, grossing only $56 million worldwide, $4 million short of its $60 million budget. Set in the year 2046, the film follows Marines who answer a distress call from a research facility on Mars. While the film wasn't Oscar material, it does have one fantastic scene that's an homage to the game, filmed in a first-person perspective to represent the FPS point of view. Up next, number 3 is Silent Hill. Based off of the Silent Hill game series, this 2006 film starred Radha Mitchell and Sean Bean. It took 5 years for filmmakers to get the rights from Konami, with director Christoph Gaines even sending a video to the developer, articulating his adoration of the video game and his desire to do the franchise justice on the big screen. Despite getting a lot of heat for subpar dialogue, a messy plot, and a hefty runtime, the film did score some points for its chilly cinematography, its production design, and its overall style, and pulled in almost $100 million worldwide. The film follows a woman who brings her adopted daughter to the town of Silent Hill, where she gets into a car accident upon arriving. Her daughter goes missing, and as she tries to discover where she is, she uncovers not only her daughter's past connection to the town, but also a local cult. Up next, number 2 is Lara Croft Tomb Raider. With star power like Angelina Jolie, it's easy to see why these 2001 and 2003 films were big blockbuster hits. Jolie fit into the fantasy Lara Croft oh so easily, and while the franchise, from the latest games and the new upcoming film set for 2018, are now steering the character into a more relatable, coming-of-age narrative and less of a tentacular one. These two adaptations did do a good job of encompassing certain elements of the game that were a crucial part to Lara Croft's overall history. And finally, in at number 1 is the Resident Evil film franchise. Now, I know it may seem a bit unfair to bulk all of the Resident Evil films into number 1, but this isn't a list of the top 10 Resident Evil movies now, is it? Arguably the most successful game to cinema transition, the franchise boasts a total of 6 films with talk of a reboot currently in development. While it's a popular opinion that the last 3 films were, well, questionable in quality, many fans felt that as far as cinematic adaptations go, the films did a very good job at translating the story and terror that makes Resident Evil games so lovable and compelling. Alright, there we have it, guys. I know there's a lot of films we didn't touch on, so if you guys want to do a part 2, let us know in those comments below. And hey, if you dug this video, make sure you hit those like and subscribe buttons. Don't want to go just yet? Well, we have a ton of other lists that you can check out on our channel. But for now, I've been Kelly Pally, and this has been Top 10 Gaming. I'll catch you guys in the next one.